Okay, welcome back to part four. Actually, it's this part five of working on Caribbean Moon. So what happened is you saw that edit I made, and I did it. You didn't. The video stopped recording when I had that. You saw the moment as I was making the edit, which fixed the problem. Let me play you.
You made me your biggest fan. You have suddenly made me.
It worked, and here's what I ended up doing.
Suddenly made. You have suddenly.
That is what I expanded. Certain, the word ton of certainly.
Have suddenly made.
And for whatever reason, by expanding that a lot, and too bad it didn't keep recording because it showed I did very minute little things. And I had to take out the gap that it makes and so on. I could undo and show you. Let's see. Yeah, there's the gap it made, and that's the gap I took out. I'm not going to touch anything because I don't want to ruin what came out pretty close to perfect. And look, you can see the edit is very smooth. It's not like you know, and to my ears, it sounds correct now. Like I actually fixed it. Yeah, I went back. I had to go back and fix it.
You have suddenly made me.
It sounds like it's a little off rhythm, but it's the way. It's a correct way of going a little off rhythm, whereas before it didn't sound right. So there you go. I think I've done enough video on this to prove to you guys that I'm really meaning to add to the AI, not just let the AI run my life. Okay, here we go. So this is about where I went to.
You came to my rescue, and not a moment too soon. And now we're here under the Caribbean moon. Caribbean moon. Now we're here under the Caribbean moon. Under the Caribbean moon, Caribbean, under the Caribbean moon. Under the Caribbean moon.
Slight AI glitch there. The question is, do I want to do anything with it or not? I'm going to use that earlier idea I had to fix issues where there are abrupt changes after doing an edit or whatever. Well, I can use it for this, which is adding reverb. It's a little trick I sort of invented. I'm sure other people do it, but it dips a little bit, like that. It dips a little bit, and I could fix that with volume and whatever. But let me just see. Sometimes when you do add a little reverb,
Caribbean,
it fixes things like that. But I can see the dip right there.
Caribbean moon.
There is another way. I can still hear. It's not as bad, but there's another way. And since we have everything married together, we don't have to worry about taking away time. It's this. This is what I used to do with my other music, which didn't have rhythm. And when there's points with no rhythm, you can You make a ramp down, a ramp up, and then you overlap, and it actually pretty close to seamlessly. If it's done right, might be a little loud here. Let's see. Oh, we're missing the other dong, which I liked. I'm going to put it back. Put that one back. There we go. Now I'm going to just crudely bring the volume up. There's a couple ways of doing this. And in fact, it's in the same place. So go from the high point to the high point. Bring up everything a lot. Maybe even a little more. Now, it would sound ridiculous. It would go, it would be, but what we do, I know that was funny, is go like this. And what we're doing is we're bringing the center part up where, I might need to do that again. Let's see. Now it sounds worse. There's another way of doing it, which is cruder, which is this. It's going to be a crude. If you do a mild, crude bump in volume, you can get away with a little bit sometimes. Now it still sounds. I'm going to try something else. I'm going to try. We're just going to do so we don't lose that other ding. We're just going to do a little bit of it. Not as much as I did before. We take all that into the clipboard and we blend it right here. May not be far enough to the left. No, that might work. It worked. It worked. It took away a little rhythm. It took a little bit of our rhythm away, and you can add it back to a degree by if you wanted to. Although I don't feel it feels close enough that it humanizes it. If it's a little off rhythm, it's not so bad. But you can do this. You can like I did with the other thing. You can add. You can stretch it out, but then you have to take away gaps that it makes. Forget about it. I think it's good.
Under the Caribbean moon, under this Caribbean moon, under this Caribbean moon, this Caribbean moon, under this Caribbean moon. Certain moon. Ooh, you have certainly made me your biggest fan. Under the Caribbean moon. Certainly made me your biggest fan. Under the Caribbean moon. Ooh, under this Caribbean moon. Under the Caribbean moon.
Almost sounds like it's fading out. You don't want it to fade out. I'm not fading out yet. So I'm going to bring all this up. Under I'm going to bring all of this up just a little bit so it doesn't sound like it's fading out here. Better. Well, I've taken you through 5 videos, which I've never done before, that many. I haven't done that many, to show you working on this, what turned out to be, I think, a very cool song. When I start these, I sometimes go, well, I mean, on a couple of these, they're so much more time intensive than the instrumentals by factors of 20, like, or 25 times longer. Like an instrumental doesn't usually need much fixing. If it does, it's a rhythm thing here or there, and I have to go in and figure out where to edit the instruments and maybe a couple glitches or here and there. There's some things to fix with the instrumentals, but it's nothing like the time I take to write all the lyrics and then change the lyrics and then go through and you saw 5 videos worth. That's 30 minutes of video. So that's 2 hours worth of and that's not all the time I've spent on it. That's just the time you've seen me spend on it. So yeah, I spent a lot of time on these. Now, one way I've gotten around spending too much time or a whole lot of time on writing these is writing really simple lyrics. Like just, I was thinking Caribbean moon, just relaxing here by the Caribbean moon, the Caribbean moon, the Caribbean moon, the Caribbean moon, space, loving the Caribbean moon, enjoying the Caribbean. It's like chilling under the Caribbean moon, Caribbean moon, Caribbean moon, Caribbean moon, Caribbean moon, and that's the end of the song. And it goes for 3 minutes, but it's mostly instrumental with a little bit of under the Caribbean moon. That's sort of was the original idea. But then I start writing and I go, oh, that could work. And then that could work with that. And I start getting into songwriting mode and I just can't stop. So I have had a couple of them that are simpler. And I think my goal was to do 10 albums, and I started a little weeks ago, but 10 albums by Christmas. And now it's Christmas and this is the 9th album. So I don't know if if I do a 10th, maybe it will just be an instrumental. I don't have to have every album have at least 2, lyric tracks, actual songs. I don't have to, but that's been sort of a policy because, again, I want to contribute to these albums, contributing human touch to the AI by at least doing 2. I'm going to make up for it. I'm going to do the next album. We're going to do it into the wee hours here because I did have a good long fat nap a couple hours ago. It's now almost 1:15 a.m. on Christmas Day, but I have a dinner to go to later tonight. I actually I'll be leaving here about 3:30 to get to a particular restaurant in uptown Dallas, which is really, since my family's I'm not getting together with friends or family. I'm going to just treat myself to a fancy kind of I did it on Thanksgiving since I'm living here alone in the city. But anyway, oh, boo-hoo, poor me. I've kind of made that bet, haven't I, to live alone and be alone most of the time. But I do like people and I do like hanging out and socializing, but I mostly keep to myself. So anyway, probably TMI for this video. But But anyway, it's interesting. I'm writing these love songs about romance, and these are like wishes. These are all these songs are things that I really like palm trees and the beautiful tropics and the smooth jazz. And so I'm going with what I like, not necessarily with what I've lived. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna. What I'll do is to finish up, round up this video. I'm gonna do the next album all instrumental, or maybe I'll do one and I'll just have one line. That'd be a challenge. Try a song with one line and limit it to one line. How about like scratching my scrotum? Right. I love thinking of things that are like totally inappropriate and opposite of what I'm really trying to do. But under the Caribbean, like when I thought of Caribbean Moon, I thought there I could almost just have Caribbean Moon, Under the Caribbean Moon, and that'd be the extent of the song, you know. Well, I'll come up with something else, you know, the sea breeze or, you know, sailing. If there weren't a popular song, sailing, of course, one of the best songs of all time and one of the most popular songs of all time, one of the most famous songs of all time. Sailing would be a great name for us. Just sailing, sailing, sailing. The whole thing would just be sailing. I'm sailing. We're sailing, 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 sailing. And I could do it because it'll be totally different than the other song, and it'll be sailing, not sailing. So I'm thinking I'll think about that, but I don't know. But anyway, now here's how I'm going to end up the video. Another video. I had this idea. Uh, I now have. I'll have 10 albums with each one that has uh, two lyric songs, like songs, and I'll create an album for the new year of all songs with lyrics, and I'll have like 18 or 19 songs. It'll be quite a, it'll be a, and I could do it in a volume 1 and a volume 2, but maybe I'll just do it all in one vol, like a big push. You know, I don't know. I tried changing the number of tracks on my albums when I had this successful healing ambient music run for a while until Pandora took it all down because it was too generic. Healing ambient music. It screwed with their search engine because people would search for healing or ambient or music, even the word music, and then my stuff I think was kept coming up, and I was making some good money. But and people were thumbing up and saving my songs and putting them on their playlists. So it wasn't like it was bad music. It was coming up on the algorithm, but people were liking it. But I imagine some artists, some other new age artists, probably complained that they went in to search their music under those terms and kept coming up with mine. I bet somebody blew the whistle. I bet that's what happened. I doubt that Pandora just took it down. I think somebody must have complained. But anyway, back in that day, I was releasing albums of 10 tracks each, and then I tried a 20-track album, I think, and it did abysmally, and everything, the music was fine and everything, but it was a change of number of tracks. But I've just started with the Midnight Regatta Project, clean slate, and it hasn't really built any sort of a audience yet, and there's really no algorithm yet. So maybe I should, with plays, so maybe I should try an 18-track or 15-track album. The other idea is to do, I'm leaning now toward just doing one 10-track album with the first 10, and then if I finish a 10th album, once I finish the 11th album, then I can do a volume 2 of, sound tracks, or I'll call it something that'll allude to the fact that it's all with lyrics, like Singing by the Bay, or something with singing or vocalist or vocal, or something that indicates that it's not there's no instrumentals in the album. I'll figure it out. All right. Vocalizing, like vocalizing the sunset or vocal sunset, or yeah, I'll figure something out. That's not it, but I'll figure it. All right. Thanks for watching. This is, yeah, as I say, this is a lot. There's a lot of video here on this one particular song, which I always think one of these songs, if one of these songs goes viral, I could, crazy thing is, well, back in the 80s, it'd be more likely, but I could buy a house. Imagine buying a house with a song. And there are people who have done that. Many, not that many, in history of music or whatever. I mean, I should say, in contrast with the number of people releasing music, as far as the number of songs released in over time in the last 100 years, how many have bought people a house? Well, it's just a couple handfuls compared to the number that haven't. All right, thanks for watching. Cheers, guys. Merry Christmas.